Well, hey there team, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a bit more Hardspace Shipbreaker. We're back on the hardcore save here. Chipping away, I guess. All the numbers are a little bit different. You know, the debt, we don't even worry about that for the most part. But 500 LT, whoo, that's nothing to be sneezed at. So we will just really quickly duck in here. Everything's good for repairs. But, what about we see what we can afford for upgrades? Can't afford the boot. Can afford the brake. I'll take it. Yes. Yes, sir. Thank you. What are these? 300, 400. Okay, cool. Yeah, I see how this is. Okay, that's fine. Not much that we can really do about that. So, I suppose once more unto. And we will... hey, when life gives you mediums, make medium aid. I think we will go for the heavy cargo this time. I might start making more of an appeal. I haven't been doing the poll, which is fine because the problem with doing the poll is that I was potentially locking myself into playing like a new game every day, right? And that can't always be feasible. You know, life is complicated. But on the back of it though, I did enjoy the sort of feedback, so I'm gonna still appeal to people that if there's any games that you want to see on the channel that maybe you haven't seen before, that maybe you think, you know, might appeal to your taste as lovers of like this game, for example, let me know. Drop a comment. I'll put it on the list to have a bit of a look at. At the moment I'm deposited. I've been looking at Green Hell. I might give that a go. It's a bit more of a survival sort of game. Closer to Long Dark, but, you know, out in the jungle having ticks stick to you. I've had a look at it very briefly once before, but yeah, I'm thinking about it now. And we're about to have a whole bunch of new games come out on the back of this month. I'm pretty sure I'm going to look at, what is it? Destroy All Humans. All sorts of cool stuff's coming. But yeah, I'd be curious to hear what you'd like to see. It could be an older series that's fallen by the wayside. That's fine as well, you know. I'm totally open to that. I mean, at the end of the day, the things that get traffic are the things that are the most popular on the channel, and if you're a fan of that one game that no one watches except you, hey, I sympathize, because I probably want to play it more as well. But to a certain extent, people want Hardspace, I'm going to give them Hardspace, you know. Now, if I was a big enough channel, I could get away with doing whatever, then maybe I would. But don't misunderstand, that's not to imply that I'm like held hostage here or anything like that. I fairly uniquely, it would seem, have a pretty positive attitude about all things gaming and just generally love playing games, right? Short of a handful of games, I love them all. Oh no, that's right. We wanted to melt this wall. I'm gonna melt this wall. Yeah, I like it that way. But yeah, it's sort of like, I get that that's unusual, that most people will, especially with some of the games that we cover here on the channel as well. I totally get that there are people that are like, only PlayStation engineers, and that's space engineers, and that's it, you know what I mean? And that's fine, but I'm not necessarily like that. I play everything and I love everything. So, I guess what I'm getting at is, just tell me what you guys want to see and I'll play. I'll at least give it a go. Do you know what I mean? Because that's the other thing as well, like, there's still a silent majority that, for example, love Hardspace and keep coming back for Hardspace, and so I keep playing it, right? So I figure the meet me in the middle sort of part for everyone involved is if I appeal and say, hey, let me know what games you're interested in, then you can chuck a comment down, and other people will probably like that, and they'll be like, oh, that's interesting. We give the game its go in the sun, you know what I mean? Because we are a community of peers. For the most part, we should all have fairly common interests, you know, that, like, there is, generally speaking, even though I play whatever and everything, broadly speaking, there is still a theme, you know. I play a lot of sort of strategy games and colony management games and all that sort of stuff. So there's a good chance that we're all interested in the same sort of stuff. Now, what I was going to experiment with was I was going to potentially take one side off and favour the roof. We need to do it early. That's the problem because of our tethers. Right? So let's just sort of try and get this going. Someone pointed out that maybe detaching the roof and floor is the go because then it is guaranteed salvage, which is, you know, I think that's a fair argument. We need to detach the back. Anyway, yeah, so what I was getting at with the game thing is, like, if you are interested in a certain game, there's a very good chance other people's in this community are as well. So I figure, chuck the name in the ring, we'll put it on the list, I'll give it a go, and, you know, if no one watches it or no one's interested in it, well, you know, so it goes. But I think that's the fairest way we can do it. You give everything its 15 minutes. Oh wait, that's not what I want to do. I wanted to move this. But I need to pull the thruster out first anyway. Okay. Oh no, the isolation, of course. I'm still so confused by these valves, or whatever they call them. Emergency override. Alright.
Secured. Account credit applied.
Actually, no. Oh, no, I've disconnected this already. Ah. Oh, God. And then the cells are in the way. This is... You know, one of those moments where you get frustrated because things just aren't really lining up? Oh, and it drags the nacelle. Can I, like, lift that out by... there, for example? Oh, how interesting is that? Like, it's stuck in space. And that makes this top bit stuck as well. Interesting. Okay.
Secured. Credits deposited.
But yeah, that's always been the nature of this channel, because let's say hypothetically all I ever did was play this Hardspace. Which, I mean, that's not a bad thing. Oh my god, it just sparked onto this.
Carbon dioxide can cause damage to LYNX equipment.
Why?
Salvage secured.
Like, part of how I sort of see this community, that is this channel, is like, a lot of us, you know, I keep playing Stationeers, for example, because that always gets traffic, because people like it. Barotrauma is another one as well. There are people that get drawn into here, and they enjoy certain things. And I think to myself, like, it's all good and well to rest on your laurels and just play what's popular, right? But on the flip side as well, now look, I'm not trying to say that I have some lofty, bloody, holier-than-thou goal or objective in life, but I'm like, look, I have a platform that all these people with a similar taste in games come together to observe, right? And it's sort of like, I feel like to take full advantage of the situation would be to, hang on, let's hook this, would be to try and showcase games to you guys that maybe you hadn't heard of, and maybe you would have a similar interest in, you know? I mean, not all, our interests aren't always going to overlap 100%, you know, and that's fine, but it's sort of like, you know, as I said, resting on your laurels sort of thing. So for the time being, we're making Hardspace because it's very popular and all that, but I like the idea of also squeezing in other games. And you never know, like, because to me, Objective Complete would be like, you're the hypothetical guy, and all he watches on the channel is Hardspace. It's all he cares about. And then one day I just slip some random game in, and then you go, oh man, that's great. And you see it because I used this platform that you are already a fan of to sort of try and share common interests. And isn't that the whole point of community and friends and the nerds that you hanged out with school back in the day and all that? You know, you're all sort of, you have common interests and you're all sort of trying to help each other discover new cool things. Anyway, just a thought. If you ever have any questions around all that sort of stuff, feel free to ask. I'm pretty transparent about how I run my channel and my sort of agendas, and that seems to be fairly well received. You know.
Secured. Account credit applied.
Ooh, careful. Oh, I just cut that box.
You got 5 minutes left of the shift before they turn the lights out on you. Hit or batter. We've wrapped.
Oh, no, what are you doing? I just wanted to cut the... Oh my god, even at the low level cutter, man, it kills me. Alright, at least it didn't kill the bloody titanium then. Alright, go baby, go. How do you feel about this? Oh, she feels pretty good. Now, we got metal salvage when we put this in the barge, did we not? Let's have a look. 674, right? Yeah, whoa, did we ever?
Salvage secured. Credits deposited.
Might as well start dragging all this stuff off. I know I haven't fully stripped it or anything like that, but money's money.
Salvage secured. Account credit applied. Salvage deposit accepted. Credits transferred. Warning, tethers depleted.
Okay. Might as well try and grab some value. Oh, we've got 2 minutes.
Valuable object processed. Credits deposited.
Oh man, I'm a musical genius.
Welcome to Vintage Run 9000. Thank you for your purchase.
How you going, big fella? Yeah, that'll get you over the line, I reckon.
Valuable object.
Oh man, all the tether's gone.
Deposit not accepted.
There's our work order. Nice. Get in there, mate. Well, that worked out all right. Oh, I never really realised. Is this giant ring part of the... Oh. Jesus. I was seriously considering going for an explore there, and then I remembered which save I was on. Okay, that's good. We managed to get it in under time, because remember the problem last time was the exact inverse. That by the time we sort of realised what we're doing and the tether lifetime and having to babysit them, that, you know, the whole thing had bloody gone in the... well, I hadn't... It didn't make it. We didn't have enough time for the shell to sort of make it. What have we destroyed there that we didn't process? Antenna. Some aluminium. We don't care about aluminium. Soft crate. A few lights. That is interesting, just even at a glance. There's not a lot more money we could have gotten out of it. Like, seriously, like, let's maybe a couple 100,000, right? Maybe 300,000 might have been generous, because we've got like the antenna and we've got some panels and that sort of stuff in there. So like, realistically, like maybe 3 million, but I don't think so. I would think maybe 2.8, right? This worked out just fine. You know, there's something to be said about jamming the whole thing in the bloody processor and just pulling out a few bits. It's interesting it took me this long to look at it that way, but you know, it always was kind of all variations on salvaging as much as possible from a front forward perspective. Whereas me, my new perspective is the backwards from back to front, which would be like, at least in my mindset, what I'm trying to make my words say, is the concept of just putting the whole bloody thing in the processor, right? Start there and then go, okay, well then we've got more time on the clock, so what else can we pull out before we throw it all in the processor? That sort of mentality. And then we can adjust that window by improving our equipment and that sort of stuff. You know, stronger, longer tethers, that sort of thing will shift the sort of window that we've got to work with. And then from there, we'll be getting to a point where it's like, I know that I can pull out X amount of seats and this, that, and the other, and I can cut this away and the thruster, and I still have time to get these halves split and put in. Makes me think that I really need to cut the thing up first, like more than anything. Maybe even more than the core, just to... even to tether and get everything moving. I don't know, maybe, yeah. I mean, I guess you would worry more about that if you were running out of time. We're not necessarily running out of time, but having said that, there was still a fair bit of parts. Not a fair bit, but there was still some parts that I hadn't pulled off. Yeah, cool. Food for thought. Anyway, look, I'll start mentioning more often on the front of these videos that, you know, my call for interesting and games that you guys would like to see, because at the end of the day, you know, I have that sort of spaghetti shotgun approach of putting things on the channel when I do new stuff. It appeals to me, it seems alright, I'll throw it up there and see what sticks. But I know that that's not necessarily going to line up with you guys. And also, even though with all of my knowledge, like, don't get me wrong, I have a lot of knowledge of what's going on in the game industry. I spend a lot of time talking to devs in the back channels. But that doesn't mean I catch everything. I routinely miss all sorts of cool little games, or even big games, you know, or even games from a few years ago. Remember, I've only been doing this like 2 years. So like, I guess what I'm appealing to is like the humble admittance that I am not the arbiter of all knowledge of all good games that will appeal to those on this channel. And my hope is that maybe some of you guys would put your hand up and go, hey, yeah, there's this game you might not have heard of, or that game, or whatever. Just let me know. And you got to understand it's twofold. By putting your comment out there and getting, you know, just putting it out there, there's a whole subset of guys that probably don't like commenting. They just don't, and that's fine. Like I'd say 90% of people don't comment, like, or anything. They just watch the video and move on, and that's fine. That's human nature. I'm not going to be the guy coming here trying to sort of push you to change that. But if you are the guy that would comment the game that you enjoy, recognize that there's a guy behind you. While he's not necessarily going to comment, he's going to like something that he likes, right? Do you sort of see what I mean? So it's not even just you saying, I want this game played. It's also a fairly good litmus test to put it out there and see if anyone else likes it or is interested or whatever. And you know what? It could also be a reality check. We're all humans. You know, we all have to swallow hard pills. Maybe you like a game that no one else on the planet likes, you know? And putting that out there as well might help sort of shine light on that too. Who knows? It's all interesting sort of stuff, but at the end of the day, if you are interested in seeing something on the channel that I'm not covering, just chuck it in a comment, and I'll at least have a look at it. I'll at least put it on my list and investigate. I think that's a fair deal, and that's pretty honest. Alright guys, a little bit of a waffle there at the end. Thanks again for joining me. We might just leave it there for the time being, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.